by the chairman of the board of the Diamond Exchange, Diamond Dallas Page from
Shit, si ano ah.
He weighs 200.
Scott Hall lang ya. The Diamond Scud, ha? Oh yes, si Diamond Dallas Page. Oi! This is the Brutal One, Rolando Alejandro Zamora here. And remind you that in this episode, we had one of the original pioneers in Philippine Pro Wrestling. Once wrestled in Philippine Wrestling Revolution and now Manila Wrestling Federation. And his name is Kanto, who goes one-on-one with the Brutal One, Rolando Alejandro Zamora. So stay tuned, kids. This is Scott Hall way back then? Oh shit. And there's Diamond Dallas Page before he wrestles. Yep. That was before Razor Ramon hit the waves in or wrestling entertainment, World Wrestling Federation whatsoever. Anyway, kids, cameraman, you see this action? Well, I'm gonna enjoy it, but we are gonna go to the other side so you can see me chit-chat with the one and only Kanto, one of the original pioneers in Philippine Pro Wrestling. That's right. So stay tuned. And stay tuned ba? Mali yung linya. Cameraman, go to the other side.
Good point, Jim. Very briefly about the hardliner.
Alright, this is the Brutal One, Rolando Alejandro Zamora, here with the man they call Kanto Kilabot Terror. And take my word for it, kids. This guy is absolutely of such utter importance within the Philippine wrestling scene. Or should I say Philippine wrestling community. If it wasn't for him, Frankie 13 and some of the others who made it possible, well, wala tayong Philippine wrestling scene dito. Di ba? Kung nakakamali, mga children. Anyway, say, Kanto Terror, say hello to the people who's gonna watching this.
Yeah, hi fans. Hi there. KKT here, Kanto Kilabot Terror. Shoutout nga pala dun sa friends and brother ko, si Orbital, tsaka si Roman Carrion. Hi. I'm here.
Another thing, kids, this guy wrestles for once in Philippine Wrestling Revolution, given that he's one of the OGs in there. Do not deny it, man, if you know what's good for. And yes, he kinda switched to the enemy camp in the Manila Wrestling Federation, and the rest is history. But given that he's good friends with the co-founders there, from the man they call Robert Sain to Veronica Mikers Litton or Veronica Shannon whatsoever for all I care. And yes, the man behind the Mr. Lucha character. Wish I could have him one day. Maybe episode 15, hindi ko alam. Well, it's up to him if he's interested. So here's the thing. Musta ka na, Kanto Terror? I mean, it's been quite a while.
That's why I lost a lot of weight.
Wait.
At saka, yeah, pumayat ako. Namayat ako.
Pumayat dahil medyo kulang sa pagkain. Pero teka mo. Hindi naman, pero wala kang training, ganun. Well, hindi kita masisisi.
Ang ano ko lang is basketball, mag-jogging, yun lang.
Oh well, at least you're getting to shape naman. So anyway, let's cut to the chase. So, musta na yung situation sa inyo for the last several months since the infamous COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, dito, sa town namin, sa 30 na, 16 na nandito. 16 na nandito sa subdivision namin.
Okay.
Sa 30 na nagkaroon sa town namin, 16 na nagkaroon dito.
Shit. So, teka, alam ko taga QC ka, sa Caloocan or something?
Bulacan. But I used to live in Caloocan.
Yeah. Bulacan, Caloocan boundary. Tama ba ako?
No. I'm up north, Plaridel.
Plaridel, Bulacan. Ang layo,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's cut to the
Yeah,
chase and then
kayfabe from Pandaluyong.
kayfabe. Ano, yung sa Kanto Street, yung ba yun?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Pero seriously, nakapunta ka na ba doon talaga sa simula o hindi?
Kanto actually, nakapunta na rin kasi dun nakatira yung sister ko before.
That explains. At doon mo ba nakuha yung idea ng character mo o may mas mahabang kwento pa to?
No, actually, yung idea ng character ko is yung sa early days ng training sa may AFP. So,
Yeah.
ako nun medyo sa training, wala ako sa wisyo nun. Di hangover ako.
Okay.
So, ayun. That's, yung sila, nag-ano na kami, nag-ano mga ring name na eh. So, yung naisip namin ni Oel yun. Kaming dalawa ni Oel
Babasa, be mindful about that, kids. One of the OGs too. Despite not a wrestler, but he did contribute a lot in Philippine Wrestling Revolution in any given capacity, of course. Now, before that, we continue. Punta tayo sa pinakasimula lahat. Alam ko na over 1 year old ka sa akin and you know all this kind of shit more so than I do. So, how did you get yourself immersed into the whole pro wrestling thing? In WWE in particular, I mean way back then it's World Wrestling Federation. Classic
Ako nun I was 5 or 6 then. Ako nun I sneak outside my bedroom. So my dad watches wrestling. So
sa IBC 13
that's
tama
where
ba?
the fandom started. Yes, yes.
IBC 13. Yung anong panahon niya? Yung prime time specialist o yung basta Pinoy sa 13?
Bobby 13.
The one with the butterfly thing? Yun ba yun?
Before.
Ha?
A year before E13.
A year before E13. Pero yan yung yung slogan niya, basta Pinoy sa 13, BPT. Pero ewan ko lang kung napanood mo na. Ewan ko lang kung napanood mo na yung station ident niya at the time, Ewan ko kung ano yung chicken niya.
Hindi ko na naalala. Yung E13 na naalala ko talaga.
The one with the butterfly. Yung Life Begins at 13. Yung may, let me see.
Life Begins at 13.
Life Begins at 13. Yan yung unang station ident na naabot ko yung bata pa ako, mga 1988.
Oh.
Although yung GMA Radio Television Arts sa 7, let's say, may mas una pa sa yung sikat na landmarks na may 3 tore na perform ng Tower of Power ng GMA. Yung 777 feet, May mas una pa yung may slogan na where you belong na handwritten, parang script na font, ganun. Pero ewan ko kung anong version nakita ko, yung 1987 ba or what? Kasi, 4 years old ako at the time. I see too much visual stuff, but this one still retains
Ang daming IDs ng GMA.
Yung RPN na sa alam ko, umabot na ata yung the one na uploaded kina Jojo Biden under his View on the Third FB account. The one in March yata na 1987. Nakita mo na ata yun, diba? Yung zooming logo ng channel.
Yeah.
Tapos sumabog. Bigla nagpakita yung glittered na 9 logo and the rest is, may laser beams pa ng iya. Tapos KBP, nasa stress ba?
Yeah, yun yung time na top face ng Channel 9 si Dolphy.
Ayun, yung John and Marsha TV series, yes.
Yeah.
Sa IBC 13, alam ko nabot mo na yung
John and
School
Marsha.
Bukol. Napanood mo rin, di ba?
Nabutan ko yun.
Ay, sa YouTube may may na-upload yung logo na yan, yung classic clips ng School Bukol. Possibly na napalabas natin sa Cinema Television 31 noong mga mid-90s. Okay, so...
kasi nabutan ko Sige.
Okay. Alright, wrestling naman tayo. Let's say, sino yung unang mong favorite na wrestler sino yung unang wrestler na panood mo sa TV, if ever?
Iron Sheik. Bolsheviks.
The Iron Sheik?
Yeah.
You mean under
Iron
the...
Sheik. Yes.
Si Nikolai Volkov, naabot mo na rin, no? Teka, Iron Sheik na
Yeah,
solo
yeah, yeah.
o tag team?
Tag team, the Bolsheviks.
Wait, the Bolsheviks? Teka, diba Russian yun? Si
Yeah, as far as I know.
Si Nikolai Volkov at si Nikita Kolov yun. Wala si Iron Sheik doon, sa alam ko. Yes, tag team.
Si ano pala. Basta yung tag team nila, Iron Sheik and Nikolai. Yun yung nakabutan ko.
Yes, former two-time WWE World Tag Team titles. Yeah, rest in peace nga pala ni Nikolai Volkov. I mean, he's very important during the WrestleMania era in pro wrestling. And of course, his gimmick about singing the Russian national anthem. Producer to do stuff like that happen.
Then gets interrupted.
Yung parang naalala ko yung gimmick ng yung Oh, Canada! Yung sa tag team na
Yeah.
yung La Resistance.
La Resistance, yeah. Doon pina-turn yun actually.
That was the
yung
disaggregation.
Yung national anthem tapos then gets interrupted by yun.
Classic. And then, naalala ko pa naman kay si Rusev. Alexander Rusev. That was before, and then now, yung nag-join siya sa All Elite Wrestling, si the best man, Miro. Actually taken from his surname, Miroslav. Real life surname.
Miroslav, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Nabot mo na pala si Hulk Hogan, si Ultimate Warrior, si Macho Man,
Yep.
Under the Giant, Roddy Piper, the $1 Million Man, who else? Si Old School Undertaker. Yeah, I remember that one. Kasama si Paul Bearer.
Strike Force.
Yes! Sino?
Yeah. Strike Force.
Strike Force. Si Tito Santana
Rick Martel and Tito Santana.
Hanggang sa teenager ni Rick Martel si Tito Santana. Sa alam ko, nag-wrestler si Tito Santana mga early 90s as El Matador.
El Matador, yeah.
My fondest
actually, he wrestled dito. Matador. Yung 1994. Kaso di ko makapunta nun eh. Nabalita ko lang sa isang sports magazine.
Okay. And then, yes, yung una kong memories regarding that mo kina Hulk Hogan at Macho Man, yung WrestleMania 5 or before WrestleMania 5, yung nagkaroon ng altercation sa backstage habang si Miss Elizabeth na sa what do you call that? Yung sa Stretcher, yes. Pero, ayun, naging rumble yung dalawa. And then, showdown will be for WrestleMania 5. And then, I think, kung posible, abutan ko rin yata si Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6 main event, yung The Ultimate Challenge. And then,
actually, that moment, yung nag-explode yung Mega Powers, umiyak ako.
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, what else pa? Undertaker Hulk Hogan, the Greatest Challenge for Hulk Hogan's WWE title na put ko pero medyo vivid yung memories ko at the time, parang tagal na, mga over 29 years ago, right?
Kaso yung sequel pay-per-view nun, di pinalabas sa Pilipinas, no?
Medyo late
yung Tuesday in Texas.
Tuesday in Texas, yes.
Yeah, di sa pinalabas dito.
Pero alam mo yung controversy sa main event na yun, diba? Na yung ang rason kung bakit na-strip si Hulk Hogan ng kanyang pang-apat na WWE title. Sakit. Kasalanan ni Ric Flair Pero yan yung Grandmaster Plan ni Ric Flair. Tingnan mo yung resulta sa Royal Rumble 1992. Third entrant and naglasted siya like an hour and then, woo! The first man to win the Royal Rumble match with the WWE Championship. That's history, man. But, hey, alam mo ba yung yung program ng WWE Timeline? Yung She Was Mine Before She Was Yours. You know what storyline is this?
She was mine, but she was worse. Let's see. Sabi ko na sa WWE.
Sabi ni
ano
Ric
kasi
Flair
sa
that
story.
sabi ni Ric Flair, Elizabeth was mine before she was even yours. Nagets mo?
Ah,
Yung angulo ng
okay,
WrestleMania. Oh, yes.
na-recall na.
Scandalous, pare.
Na-recall it. Scandalous,
Napaka-personal
yeah.
yung storyline na yan, ha? And yung
Yeah.
magiging villain ni Ric Flair, ox na ox ako diyan, as in, ox na ox ang kuting sa Honor Ox. Remember that commercial way back
Ano siya?
mga late 80s to early 90s?
Yeah. That big fat lady yata yun na.
Ewan ko kung buhay pa yun, ha? Pero ewan ko kung sinong big fat lady na yan, ha?
Yeah.
Mukhang overly qualified for being katulong, you know? O
Yeah,
higit pa
yeah.
sa posisyon na katulong. Okay. Oh yeah, on the background, meron akong isang electric fan from Standard, and this one is from Panasonic.
Wow.
And still works. That's new thing sa failure. I don't know what happened. Kaya ito yung replacement.
Sa-
Doon ko napanood yung cable box namin na nabili sa Hong Kong. At sana maaga ko to na-discover na may binalik na yung WWE Network dyan. Kasi to be honest with you, a little bit of 1 month ago, mga over a year ako hindi na nakapag-nood ng television. Dahil pang walang maganda na palabas. Hanggang sa na-try ko ulit yung cable box. Na dyan yung WWE Network. Ang tanga ko talaga lang niya. Bakit na-miss ko yung mga to? Pero doesn't matter. At least nakapanood ako ng ilang parts sa WrestleMania 26. Yeah, pero 7. Oo nga pala, kailan ko yung opinion regarding yung WWE Thunderdome and the way na interactive na yung mga audience doon. What do you think of their concept?
Maganda. Parang NBA feels. So, I have no problem with that.
As long as maganda yung internet signal nila doon.
Yeah.
Kaso,
Ang nakaka-bad trip lang doon yung may mga may mga manonood na yung may naka Ku Klux Klan costume, yung
Benoit.
Benoit o sobrang bastos
Kailangan
naman.
kailangan nila ay restrict yan. Yung kay Benoit, ewan ko lang. Pero I think it's inappropriate kasi alam mo na yung na-tarnish na yung legacy ni Benoit dahil sa nangyari sa June 24th of 2007. Pero yung Ku Klux Klan, that's downright racist.
That's
Buti nga alam
downright
mo yung
racist.
Ku Klux Klan na yan. Shit.
Kaya, kasi, wide reader din kasi ako. May mga encyclopedia ako sa bahay, so basa-basa, yung ganun.
Maganda. That's a good boy. You read some encyclopedias. Although some of the encyclopedias, tama yung details to this day. I mean, yung modern times.
Yes.
And then some others,
Exactly.
pang medyo na outdated na. Pero Ku Klux Klan, KKK na lang, ayoko na.
KKK,
Yeah, yung mga white KKK. Do not distinguish it to the Pinoy KKK, which is kataas-taasan,
katipunan
ng Pilipinas.
ng mga anak ng bayan.
Ng bayan. Yan. Yung yung red KKK na lang. Red KKK. Yung white KKK, buisit, ewan ko anong problema nila sa buhay. Feeling nila yung mga taong puti ang balat, ang superior sa mundo. Yan yung mentality ng mga jalote na yan during that time. Yung mga ninuno natin, yung great-grandparents natin. Halimbawa, o kaya yung mga great-grandparents. Yummy. Alright, let's get on with this part. Let me see. You and one of the server guys form a Facebook group that consists of yung mga anything about professional wrestling and some stuff. Will you kindly tell me your story behind your involvement?
Well, here's my story. So, I was adminning a huge wrestling page before, yung WWE Philippines. So, doon nagkakilala lahat yung some of the wrestlers today. So, like Frankie
13.
Frankie 13. Tapos sila Veronica. si Will. Doon sila nakilala. Then, some of the guys, naalala ko, a young Jomar Liwanag like that page. A very, very young Jomar Liwanag like that page.
Ah,
And,
yes, bata pa, yes.
yeah. And also, yeah, some of the guys, PWR, nakalala ko rin. Si Joey Bucks. Wala nakalala sa picture yun. Then, si Owel. Matt Rojas. Then, basta marami.
Kasama na ba si, Yusuf Mir? Esther,
Yeah,
Brian Leo.
he's one of the likers din sa page. I tried to add him on Facebook before, kaso, yung na-add na niya ako, nasa, na kami. We have already formed the PWR group. So after mawala yung page na yon, so Frankie suggested na yun magkaroon tayo ng parang group or parang fed ganun. So sumunod ako kay Frankie, no? Then we gathered some people.
Yes. So, kailan kayo nagkikita-kita in person para lang magkakilala kayo sa isa-isa at magsisimula mag-form ng sarili yung Fed? I mean, also, who are the core founders of Philippine Wrestling Revolution? Core founders.
So ito yung story. Yung nagkaroon na kami ng meet-up sa Trinoma. So, me, si Oel, Mike Vargas, then Mike is there, it's William, then there are some others. Tapos andun din si Rex Lawin, andun din.
Yes, one of the OGs in Philippine Pro Wrestling scenes. Huwag niyo kalimutan yan.
Yeah. Sa Trinoma nangyari lahat yun. The very first meetup.
And then doon ninyo nagplanuhan na talagang seryoso kayo sa gagawin ninyo, right?
Yes.
So, anong sumunod pa dyan, kung posible?
Okay. Yung sumunod pa noon, we have some other meetings ulit. So, yun, sa bahay nila Brian Leo na. So,
describe Brian Leo's house at the time.
Small, but maganda.
Pero hindi naman subdivision.
Hindi naman sa subdivision. Naman. And then we ate a lot of food. Sarap ng food sa kanila.
Kilala mo yung moms niya.
Sorry, mom. Yeah.
Anong feature ng moms ni Brian Leo? Maganda naman. Medyo tumatanda na rin.
I can't recall.
It's been already half a decade. Over half a decade.
Half a decade na. Pero naman yung mom niya is hospitable naman. Hospitable. Very hospitable.
Now, let's get on with December 2013 talaga yung nagsimula yung foundation ng Philippine Wrestling Revolution. And then, anong year talaga kayo nagsimula mag-training? Was that before the Joshi Jam or after the Joshi Jam?
Well, that's after Joshi Jam na. So,
alam ko na doon ka rin, di ba?
Doon din ako, yeah.
So, before we go on that kind of training, can you describe Joshi Jam event and how do you feel about it? Can't say if kung successful siya o hindi,
I can't, well, somewhat, yung mga fans kasi konti lang. So,
yes, kasi hindi lahat na talagang dead serious na professional wrestling fans. Yes, may lahat professional wrestling fans, pero WWE lang yung inaatupag. I mean, hindi wala pa ata sa kanila yung idea na mag-expand at check yung mga professional wrestlers sa buong mundo like that.
Yeah, and there's publicity pa dun yung nabalita pa sila sa Balitang Hali before, GMA News TV. Then, tawag dito, may pa yata that time, parang may radio plug pa nga. as kung nare-recall ko. Kaso, ilang people lang na dumating.
Mga 100 plus or what?
Di ko di ko ma-estima. But what I can say, so sa konti ng fans yun, it's a wild crowd. So, Pasig became Philadelphia at that time. You know, ECW.
Alright.
Philadelphia ECW fans.
Now, after Josie Jam, doon na kayo nagsimula mag-train. Pero, sino ba may idea na mag-train kayo sa AFP gym doon? Gusto alam natin na yung boxing ring na yan, pero matigas yung sahig niya.
I believe si Bombay yata yun.
Speaking of, Bombay's one of the originals too. Can you tell me paano mo nakilala si Bombay by all means?
Si Bombay, nakilala ko na dun sa meeting with yung sa house dealer usually.
Alright. And then, I think he was more knowledgeable in terms of wrestling, given na yung background niya may background wrestling stuff like that, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Sa backyard wrestling. Yeah.
So, describe yung training sa AFP gym.
At first, on my sa personal kong experience, medyo nangangapa ako sa training. So, sa bumps, madalas ako makongkas.
Ay, shit.
Yeah.
Concussion, bali na tama yung ulo mo sa
Yeah.
Sakit yun Pero talaga, legitimate ng concussion.
Yeah. Pero tawag namin dun sa sa ground na yun is Concussion City. Kasi lang sa amin nagkaano.
Pero how long do you guys lasted in AFP gym?
Siguro half a year?
Half a year. Before
Half a year, I can recall.
That was right that was right after the first that was before Revolution now, diba? Diba Revolution now nasa Fit Plus Gym kayo ng show, pero kayo nagsimula sa Fit Plus Gym. I mean the now non-operational Fit Plus Gym.
Bali after naghanap kami ng gym na trainingan. So, yan, natagpuan nila Yusuf yung Fit Plus.
So that was through him. Parang may connections rin si Yusuf by all means,
And I don't know, kasi marami sila naghanap
Pero, paano pumayag yung Fit Plus Gym na doon kayo magte-training? Any idea?
I don't have an idea. Kasi just to wrestle talaga.
Okay, pero
just to wrestle, be a worker.
And then, yung pag-training nyo doon, medyo okay na rin. Pang kahit na loosen yung ropes, hindi pa naman kayo pwede makaperform ng top rope na attack. Kasi halos abot na kayo sa ceiling Hindi ba ako nakakamali?
Tsaka sarap bumagsak.
Ayun, malambot. Kaya niyo yun. Pwede sa katawan para practice kayo na mabuti. Anyway, yung mga original batch, kasama na doon si JDL, si Brian Leo, si Bombay Suarez, si Main Max, si Ken Warren kasama na, and then si Chris Panzer. And then, who else pa? Yung sa MWF side would have to be Robin Saint, si Rex, the man behind Mr. Lucha. Kasama na ikaw, of course. Sino pa?
Add mo na sa originals si Apocalypse.
Ayun. Thanks for reminding me about Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
And yes, party na siya. Actually, he did train in AFP gym before. Alongside with the guys. So, alam ko one by one lumating yung mga to, from Main Max to Ken Warren, Tama ba?
Yeah. Actually, si Main Max, one story about Main Max is, lagi ko siya kasabay pag sa AFP training. Sabay kayo pupunta doon.
Nice! And then
Yeah.
you two were quickly like, naging good friends naman at least.
Yeah. Actually, isa siya sa mga nakilala ko sa WWE Philippines page. Main Max.
Yes, May Max.
Yeah.
Who's no longer affiliated with PWR, but more on that later, okay? We're gonna have a bunch of dirty shits and your opinions over this kind of thing. Now, after Revolution now, diba, malapit na kayong makaroon ng PWR, yung unang-unang PWR Renaissance. Pero, hindi ko alam kung na-witness mo na rin doon na it came down to creativity, medyo nakakalabuan na yung mga grupo dito from CBL to Veronica Shannon. You witnessed it there too, di ba? Alam ko yung initial reaction mo, medyo hindi ka komportable.
Yeah, parang nasa lang ako. In between lang ako nun. Neutral ako eh.
Pero it was after PWR Renaissance, let's say, si Mike Shannon and apparently the man behind Mr. Lucha character, I think they're one of the few people na unang umalis sa PWR, kung posible.
Yeah, that's
And then apparently, sumunod ata si Robin Sane. I don't know what was going on. Parang, like it said before, politics were there already, even at such an early stage ng PWR. And malabo na magkasundo kasi not everyone's ideas were on the same page. Parang makaiba. Kahit na professional wrestling. Pero, ayun na nga. At medyo nagiging personalan na. Like that. That was such an ugly start. It's like walang ata yung common goal doon. Or shall say, leadership stuff in there. And speaking of which, what's your initial reaction na the man behind the classical brand Leo character, si Yusuf Mir, was elected as PWR's inaugural president? Legit president. What's your initial reaction?
Well, okay naman siya. I'm happy. Kasi andun yung competitiveness niya.
Yes.
Actually,
pero hindi nyo akalain na uabot to sa isang parte, mga 2016 medyo nagiging magulo or whatsoever. Pero it's sa alam ko wala ka naman sa Batanes eh. Hindi ka naman kasama doon.
Oh, I'm not there.
Which is good news. Kung hindi,
I'm
ewan ko lang ba, baka wala ka na ng tiwala kay Yusuf Mir by all means.
I'm very busy kasi at work now.
That's good. Pero yung mga iba, ewan ko ba, more on that later na lang. Magiging matindi yung topic na to. During your time, diba kaka-develop mo pa naman yung character ni Kanto, diba? So we go on PWR Renaissance 2014. Kanto Chaos Classic. Whose idea is that?
Kanto Chaos, actually, it's idea ni Mikers yata eh.
And it worked naman. So, it has something to do like triple threat match. Tama ba?
Yeah, it's a triple threat. So, that's me versus
Mike Vargas.
Nelson Jr. No. Me, Nelson versus Nelson Jr. and Epitaph.
Mark Vargas, alam ko kalaban niya si Main Max. Tama?
Si Mike, yeah. I remember that.
Epitaph. Barely heard of this guy before. Pero sayang. Yeah. Napaka-short-lived yung career niya sa PWR. That's bullshit, man.
Yes.
It's like, if you're not on their side of their ideas, you're against them. It's like nakaroon ng, split in the group. And then, that was happening right after Renaissance. And then, umabot na naman sa Terminus. Speaking of Terminus, who were your opponent there? Sa, yung unang Terminus?
Terminus, I believe it's DualShock.
DualShock. Let me guess.
DualShock. Peter versus Sandoto.
And then una mo naging tag team partner si Mark Di Manalo.
Yeah.
That was his debut there.
Yep.
And then in the end, you two win. This is the first of the 3 biggest defeats that DualShock had suffered in their career. Na yun ang reason kung bakit nag-split up si Sandata, and yes, Peter Bersosa.
And
More on,
ano pa nun, at that time, I suffered an injury.
tell me about it.
Yeah, I have grade 2 sprain nun. So, di ako nakapag-training, di ako nakapag-rest ng 1.5 months because of that.
Pero at least
Kasi
naabot
pag
mo naman bago magano yung
Revolution X.
originally a PWR event on February, yung Vendetta. Yes. So Vendetta, alam ko nakalaban mo si Mike. Sino kalaban mo nga doon? Nakalimutan ko na. Wala pa ako diyan
Vendetta, I believe it's kasi may rivalry kami ng dual shock nun eh.
And then what about this one, this tag team? Fighters for Hire. Alam ko nag-debut yung Fighters for Hire ata sa Vendetta ba o sa Terminus?
I believe it's Vendetta. Yun ata yung naging parang bodyguard sila ni
Mr. C.
Mr. C. Yeah.
And then Vendetta. One of the things that I remember is that Royal Flush versus the unlikely team of, let me see, Mayhem Brannigan and the Apocalypse in the first ever all-out war match. I mean, tag team all-out war match pa naman at the time.
Yes.
Alam ko na napanood mo rin doon, witness ka. So, describe this match in your opinion. In your own words pala, yeah.
Okay naman siya. In my opinion.
Kahit nga ikaw hindi mo akalain na talagang tatalon si Mayhem Brannigan sa balcony niya, balcony up to the guys. That was the... This is the only thing that...
Di mo mapaniwala kasi pati si Scarlett sumalo eh.
Lahat ata mga tao sumigaw doon. Sana maaga ko na-discover yung PWR, pero I just discovered it on August 15 of 2015. I will reveal that later on, yeah. And that match is the only thing that make Mayhem Brannigan famous or infamous whatsoever for all I care. Pero sayang nga career ni Mayhem Brannigan after na injury, after taking time off bigla parang nawala na yung hilig niya sa professional wrestling for some shitty reason. And yun, maaga ata siya nag-retiro. Sayang naman yung pinaghirapan niya. I don't know, parang magulo ata yung isip ng tao na yan. Pero it would take years later na nalaman na lahat ng mga fans na the man who portrayed the character of Mayhem Brannigan is not something na taken for lightly or unpleasant. But I'm not so sure, I wasn't there anyway. Only the handful of guys know it and any source whatsoever. Pero hindi naman mahirap na kausapin si Mayhem, diba? Although can you describe about that guy since you never worked with him before? Ever?
Sa ko naman is approachable naman siya.
Pero naging naging co-vice president siya alongside si JDL sa kakaalam ko since umalis si William Elvin Manzano. Sayang naman. Ewan ko lang ba bang yung talaga nagsimula tapos pinaalis lang. I don't get it. Bang napaka-unfair. Saka if you whitewash the people who started this whole Philippine wrestling scene yung tawag mo ba yan utang loob? If it wasn't for them wala tayong ganito, diba? We all should be thankful for that, big time. I don't know, pero nakaiba lang yung difference yung prinsipyo, creative or maybe some of the part na downright na you don't like each other by all means for wrong reasons, of course. We won't go too far on that anyway. Very unpleasant. Okay, Revolution X 2015, the first one ever. Also on MCS, Makati City Square Arena. No one could ever forget that one. This is where it all begins. Yung professional wrestling stuff dito sa Pinas, MCS.
Yeah.
It's maybe a
The
decade later,
Mecca.
legendary.
The
The Mecca,
Mecca.
pero
The
wala na eh.
birthplace.
Daya kung bakit yung ginawa
Yeah.
pang SSS.
Kaya nga eh.
Pero yun na, lumipat sila sa ano first Bayanihan and then Bayanihan sila and then I Academy. Bago Bayanihan, bago yung lugar na kung tawagin Parmax Center Spotlight. Yeah. Para sa akin, mas malapit pa yata yan eh. Kung hindi ako nakakamali. Although, no. Mas malapit yung Bayanihan.
Bayan yun. Mas malapit.
Mas malapit pa yun. I had such
Yes.
fond memories of that. Now, let's get on with our this three-way tag team match. The first of its kind in PWR history. Noel
Yes.
Shock versus Vitus for High versus Beer Promdi. Speaking of which, sino ba may pagkana na pairing kayo ni Mark Di Manalo, yung isang character na probinsyano, ikaw lasinggerong at basagulerong lasinggero. Ayun,
Ang ano nun is, ang ano nun is, nung wala si Nelson Jr. So, we needed a partner talaga against Main Max. So supposedly, kami ni Nelson Jr. mag-handicap tag team nun. So, nawala si Nelson Jr. Along came Mark Di Manalo. It's just, ang ganda ng character niya eh. So, yun, tinlan namin na ganun nga. Mag-form kami na as team. So, humlik naman. Nag-kick kami.
Yes, that was one of the popular tag teams in PWR during that time, Beer Promdi. You do had several wins and few losses apparently. Pero yung mga wins niyo ating importante para sa akin. Para at least talaga oksa-oks yung character ninyo. Pero, it was a three-way elimination tag match after siguro natalo yung Fighters for Hire. Nagwala. Talaga nagwala.
Di rin ako makaano sa moment na yun. Talagang
Storyline nagwala yung dalawa na yan. It was the primary reason why Mr. C had to fire those two out of their unprofessional behavior. Sabihin natin. Storyline, unprofessional behavior, children.
Yes.
And then, let me see. The first ever PWR Live, August 15, 2015. Yan ang unang show na napanood ko, if ever. And I forever owe that show and PWR, you guys at the time, saving my ass from sheer boredom. And I've been a staunch supporter for PWR, the whole Philippine wrestling scene dito sa country natin ever since. And I will remain to do so kahit na even na nasa center of the COVID-19 pandemic. But hopefully, PWR, MWF, and WUWPH will return full force. Pero, I'm not so sure about PWR. More on that later, kids. Medyo matindi yung discussion natin yan. Okay.
Nakakamiss na mag-wrestling.
Aminin ko, makaka-miss kang dito yung mag-wrestling. The first time nag-wrestling ka in years, nung 2019, talagang ang saya ko, walang hiya. Seriously wrestle. Sayang wala na Beer Promdi because of the legitimate health issues with the man who portrayed Mark Di Manalo. Pero,
he's been, kasi sabi niya sa akin before yun siya sa tuhod. So,
palagay mo na doon pa yung injury na yan to this day, no?
Kasi pag tuhod ang pinag-uusapan, it's talaga
Delicate.
Delikado.
Ayaw ko ba kung saan nagsimula yung injury ni Mark Di Manalo niyan? Lang niya, sayang. Pero early retirement kung sabihin natin. Pero alam ko, naging teacher niya sa totoong buhay tama ba?
Yeah.
So it's impossible for him to to wrestle again given to such ugly circumstances. Pero wrestling manager pwede na rin at least may experience na sa wrestling Bagay sa
Actually, he can make a good manager.
Now, where were we? Yes. May competition ka doon sa yung unang PWR live, 'di ba? Pang beer drinking contest, yun ba yun?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Natalo.
And then it was that one is a slow portion of a story where the apocalypse did something horrible. Nangyari na ba yun
Yeah.
sa PWR live kung saan story ng injury, sa
Yes.
mata?
Yeah, actually, that's the first eye storyline injury na nangyari. As far as I know,
That's
sa wrestling.
that's the genesis of the possible feud between Mark Di Manalo and the Apocalypse. Out of Mark Di Manalo's personal revenge against the man who injured his best bud and tag team partner, and apparently
Mhm.
beer drinking partner too, of course.
Yes.
And alam ko yung let's say that happened on PW Renaissance 2015, the second one ever. How do I remember? Yes, yung main event. Paano na-insert si Apocalypse sa main event ni JDL at Classical Brandley? Well, it all happened at the first PWR live kung saan Classical Brandley successfully defend his PWR title against JDL, kung hindi ako nakakamali. But Apocalypse show up, attack these two, and then weeks later, the idea of the three-way match for the PWR title, yun na-develop. And then it was during the match, Martin Manalo, these guys, interfered the match, costing Apocalypse the opportunity for the PWR title. And then, so, dito na nagiging personal na yung awin na yan. Then, yes, the first Academy show, yung PWR Live 2. Ewan ko kung anong match doon si Mark Di Manalo at Apocalypse. Mukhang wala pa, pero nagde-develop pa lang yan, yes. That would lead to what many consider to be the final PWR Terminus event at that time, 2015. Mark Di Manalo, the Apocalypse, wow! All-out war. Wait, hair versus mask. All-out war match. Wow. I'm not so sure if you were there to watch it.
Actually, I was there.
Secretly.
Yeah, I know. I'm the masked young boy. Actually, if you see someone as a young boy who's wearing a mask, that's me.
Hindi ko makakalimutan yun. Oy kids yung laban ni Mark Di Manalo at Apocalypse nasa YouTube yun aming full complete match yung terminus nila. Ang gusto ko lang panood yung unang PWR Renaissance, Vendetta, Terminus and Revolution X sana nandun, pero sino ba nagtago ng mga recorded videos na yan lang yung Terminus pa nga incomplete yung unang Terminus incomplete talaga. Let's say yung sa party ko nakakabitin na dapat kumpleto. Yung Revolution X na una sana kumpleto rin, pati na yung pangalawang Revolution X. Ewan ko ba kung bakit hindi pinapalabas mga to hanggang ngayon. Sana pinalabas para history lesson kung sabihin natin. Now, where were we? Yes. It was that match na tao si Mark Di Manalo. Meaning to say, halos kinalbo siya ni Apocalypse or what? Ginupit ng buhok. Pero dumating si John Sebastian, inatake si Mark Di Manalo. Ano kaya meron doon? Anong storyline na to kung naalala ko? Kinalbo rin, langya. Gahagi. Naalala ko pa naman yung angle ni Mark Di Manalo at John Sebastian. Tinatawag ni John Sebastian si Mark Di Manalo Squatter Carabao. O Squatter Calabao for baka madali.
Kalabaw.
Fuck. Kasi alam mo naman yung character ni Mark Di Manalo Provinciano. Promdi.
Yeah.
I better check this one out. Where does the word Promdi actually came from? Americanized kung sabihin natin.
from the province.
Pwede.
Yeah, actually, that's where the term came from the province.
Oh, yeah. Galing nilang mag-spelling sa Tagalog yung from the and to from the.
Yeah.
Yes. You made your return somewhat in PWR Vendetta, kung hindi ako nakakamali. Tama ba?
Yeah.
To confront the Apocalypse after Marty Manalo loses to John Sebastian, and then si Apocalypse bigla dumating at shit muntik na mapahamak si Marty Manalo at dumating si Kanto Terror and atake si Apocalypse, and then let's say after two PWR live shows, the infamous PWR Live Manila Madness, I think wala ka doon, to say the least. Tama ba?
Manila Madness?
Oh.
I'm there.
Oh shit, I think we should talk a little bit about Manila Madness.
Yeah.
In the words of JDL, the idea of the Manila Madness was actually from CBL and his mother, from what I recalled. In your opinion, totoo ba yun?
Well, let's see. Ang kasi, nabook na ako doon sa Manila Madness, so I have no,
Pero alam mo ba anong masaklap doon? Diba may nabalitan na may nasunog doon, tapos may mga refugees doon. And then, who is it na pinagsabihan sila na temporarily sila pinaalis? Although in the minds of others, including Mr. C, they were shoo out like that. Do you witness it? No?
No. Nasa ako na, kami nun sa setup kami ng we're doing setups.
Even si Red
But but I kind of heard. Yeah.
Pero mukhang unfair naman, diba? To say the least, nasunugan na tapos pinaalis sa para na matuloy yung show. Para sa akin, hindi ata tama yun, In my opinion, kahit na businessman ka whatsoever, parang hindi tama yun. You have to consider them human beings, come on. And you doing this for your own fucking thing, basta matuloy lang yung show, it doesn't make any sense. I can't say kung yung sino may idea niyan na-consent siya o hindi. Ano na sa buhay. Yes, were you there on yung pang-apat na show ng 2016, yung PWR Live Road to Revolution X, doon sa Paranaque, Sukot Paranaque?
I was there. Manager ako yun. Manager ni Martin Manalo.
And then yes, Revolution X, I watch it. You versus the Apocalypse, and then with a huge help from MDM, of course.
Yes.
Beer Pyongyang. Remember?
Beer Pyongyang, yeah. And the flying beer bucket headbutt.
Fuck. Hindi ko makakalimutan yan. This is one of my favorite match do sa Revolution X, Hindi ko makalimutan hanggang ngayon, pero sana pina-upload na lang. Gusto ko panoodin ulit. Parang gusto ko ma-recall. Sobra kong miss yung laban na yan personally. Kahit nga pinagtulungan yung maskaradong Apocalypse na yan. By the way, who made the debut yung bagong mask niya, as opposed to the almost identical to Iron Man's mask.
Yes.
Yeah, yung mask ni Apocalypse yun yung nakakatakot talaga. Shit. I wish I could have Apocalypse in my show, but that would be out of question for now. Out of a question, indeed. Anyway, talo yung kampo ninyo, Daya. And then, months later, oh shit, PWR Live, Showdown. Alam ko, ikaw, si Martin Manalo, meron kayong kalaban na tag team dyan, Was it the YOLO Twins?
Yeah.
They made their, YOLO Twins, tama ba? Sa alam ko yung one half the YOLO Twins nag-debut sa Revolution X pre-show match. Shit.
Yeah.
Such memories. And then yung, Showdown. Okay, the showdown. That was right after the Batanes incident. Oh, speaking of which, before we go the showdown, yung sa batch 6 ng PWR bootcamp. I'm not so sure kung na doon ka.
Oh, anong nangyari sa batch 6?
You know already the story about me being in the bootcamp. Have you heard of it before?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm there.
Such memories in there. They asked me doing those things na, yes, to some impossible, but me, I don't give a shit. I just want to do it. Although, one time na, bigla pa hindi ako pinabibigyan ng katawan ko it's a struggle. It would take JDL and CBL to help me out a bit. And then, medyo back on the foot na ako. And then, alam ko hindi ako tanghalian doon at the time, pero it doesn't matter. What matters is I could do stuff that I thought I never had a chance to do it. Especially yung pang gulong-gulong o yung pang bump on which doon ako talaga hindi part of it na okay, marunong ako pero yung iba hindi naman. It's just that yes, I understand na they give me the instructions like that and I've listened to it properly.
Yes.
And it was an experience na hindi ko makakalimutan. Sadly, before we go there, let's say after all this evaluation thing and stuff like that, well, that's the chance na kumain ako ng pagkain ko na hindi ko nakainin nung tanghali, pero ayos lang yun. Kasi medyo late, akala ko maaga sila magsimula, mga 8. Mga 10 pala, pero ewan ko kung lampas ng 10 or 1, kasi late talaga dumating yung presidente nila at the time Sa alam ko
That's
pero,
usually mga 9 or 10 nagsisimula yung sa bootcamp.
Yeah. Pero late talaga dumating si El Presidente. Naalala ko pa naman na may na-mention na nagdi-drill sergeant si CBL talagang seryoso. At totoo nga. That experience said so. But that doesn't mean I'm scared of it. I'm just, do it. Period. No questions asked. Memories. And then, after, gusto ko talagang bumalik sa bootcamp. Pero pinigil ako ni Mother Dear. To my absolute horror. Afraid na, baka hindi ako alam mo na.
Ako nga sa akin, tinago ko for 2 years yung pagiging wrestler ko. Tinago ko yung identity ko sa pamilya ko.
Pero kailan pa nila nalaman yung sikreto na to?
2018.
So, how's their reaction when after they discovered that the character behind Kanto was actually you?
Wala, pinagtawanan nila. Pero they're proud of me naman. They're proud of me.
Oh, that's nice. It's a good thing you had some family to support you. Pero natawa sila sa character mo, Kanto Terror?
Yeah, kasi nakita nila yung Lasengo. Kasi, Kanto Terror is an amplification of my teenage and college self. Actually, I was an alcoholic before.
Oh, you're an alcoholic before. I see. Pero Tito, how would you describe a word? Tito Taylor, tama ba? O nag-withdraw ka na sa alcohol? Kaya hindi ka na masyadong doon sa alcohol. Except for your character, of course.
I mean, as in, I rarely drink na. Pag
cold turkey. Nag-cold turkey ka na Very good for you.
Yeah.
Ako, nag-alcoholic rin ako. Not yung sa level mo, pero I used to drink heavy stuff, but I go for Tanduay Ice, which is way better. I love Tanduay Ice, personally. Kahit nga 2 bote ng Tanduay Ice, kaya ko.
Ako na lang, Tito Beer na lang ako. Sa Pilsen.
Tito Beer?
Yeah, it's Tito Beer, Pale Pilsen.
So, it's true pala yung Tito Beer na to. Made in Bulacan, tama ba? Or what?
No. San Miguel Pale Pilsen ang ininom ko. So, that's beer
Tito
for
Beer
Titos.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, kids. As much as we had a lot of chit-chat to do, babalik kami ng ilan sandali pagkatapos ng kung kahit anong patalastas na ipapanood pero sa totoo wala naman eh. Kaya stay tuned na lang.